Hello students, welcome to Eduziast. In this video, we are going to discuss questions based on identifying items to be included or not included in the calculation of domestic income. Students, usually a question is asked in the board examination where you have to identify whether a given item is included or not included in the calculation of either the domestic income or the national income of India. So from that perspective also, this topic is very important and needs to be done very thoroughly. In this video, I am going to focus on those items which would be included or not included in the calculation of domestic income of India. So let's get started. The question says, explain giving reasons whether the following would be included in the domestic income of India or not. Now students, to identify domestic income of India, we have to be clear about two factors. That a given income would be included in the domestic income of India only when, number one, the income is generated within the domestic territory of a country, and second, the income may be generated either by the resident of a country or by the non-resident. So when these conditions are satisfied, that is, the income is generated within the domestic territory and whether the income has been generated by the residents or the non-residents, it should be included in the domestic income of India. So let's examine the statements one by one. Statement number 1 says, profits earned by a branch of foreign bank in India. Now according to the statement, we have to identify whether profits which are earned by a branch of foreign bank which is located in India, whether it would be included in the domestic income of India or not. So from the statement, it can be seen that the branch of foreign bank is located in India. The statement gives us the information that the branch of a foreign bank is located in India, and this clearly means that the foreign bank is located within the domestic territory of India, and accordingly the profits have been earned within the domestic territory of India. So that is why these profits which have been earned by a branch of foreign bank in India will be included in the domestic income of India. Now let's examine the next statement. Profits earned by a resident of India from his company in Malaysia. Now again, we are given information about the profits which have been earned by a resident of India who has a company, but the company is not located in India, but the company is located in Malaysia. So company being located in Malaysia means that the profits which have been earned by this company have been generated outside the domestic territory of India, because Malaysia is not a part of India. Malaysia is located outside the domestic territory of India, and the profits which have been earned by the resident of India is actually earned outside the domestic territory of India. The profits have been earned in Malaysia, and Malaysia is located outside the domestic territory of India, and thus such profits which have been earned by a resident of India whose company is located in Malaysia will not be included in the domestic income of India. Let's see the next one. Rent received by an Indian from his building in London. Rent again is an income. We all know that according to the income method of calculating national income, rent is an item under the operating surplus. So ideally, rent should be included in the calculation of domestic income as well as the national income. But according to the statement, the rent which have been received by an Indian from his building in London. So the building has been found to be located outside the domestic territory of India, and therefore such a rent which has been received by this Indian whose building is located in London will not be included in the domestic income of India. London again is not within the domestic territory, it is located outside the domestic territory of India. And according to the concept of domestic income, we have to take into consideration only those incomes which are generated within the domestic territory of India. Fine. Now the next one, compensation of employees to resident of Japan working in Indian Embassy in Japan. So compensation of employees. So students, this also you know that this is a component of domestic income according to the income method of calculating national income. But now what we need to look for is whether the compensation of employees have been received within the domestic territory of India or not. So let's examine the statement again. Compensation of employees to resident of Japan working in Indian Embassy in Japan. Now the focus area in this statement is Indian Embassy, which is located in Japan. So from the concept of domestic territory, we know that any embassy of a country which is located in some another country, for example Indian Embassy which is located in Japan or Indian Embassy which is located in US, belongs to the domestic territory of a home country, which means if Indian Embassy is located in Japan, it would be considered as a part of domestic territory of India. Similarly, if Japanese Embassy is located in India, it would be considered as a part of domestic territory of Japan. So according to the statement given to us, compensation of employees which have been received by a resident of Japan is received by working in the Indian Embassy in Japan. So Indian Embassy in Japan, since it is a part of domestic territory of India, it would be considered as an income under the domestic income of India as well. So compensation of employees to residents of Japan working in Indian Embassy in Japan will definitely be included in the domestic income of India. Why? Because Indian Embassy in Japan is a part of domestic territory of India, and thus the compensation of employees to resident of Japan will be included in the domestic income of India. The next one, rent received by an Indian resident from Russian Embassy in India. Now let's read the statement again and try to understand. Rent received by an Indian resident from Russian Embassy in India. So the focus area in the statement is Russian Embassy, which is located in India. And according to the concept of embassy, we know that Russian Embassy, which is located in India, does not belong to the domestic territory of India, but it belongs to the domestic territory of Russia. So accordingly, the rent which is received by an Indian resident from Russian Embassy in India will not be included in the domestic income of India. And what would be the reason? That Russian Embassy in India is not a part of domestic territory of India, it is a part of domestic territory of Russia. The next statement says scholarships given by Government of India. Students, another important thing, that while identifying items to be included or not included in the calculation of domestic income or the national income, the basic rules remain the same. There is no change in the basic rules, which means that final goods are only included, intermediate goods are not included, factor incomes are included, transfer incomes are not included. So according to the statement given to us, scholarships given by Government of India, scholarships is not a factor income, it is a transfer income to those who are receiving it. So according to the concept of factor and transfer income, and more precisely that only factor incomes are included whether we are calculating domestic income or we are calculating national income. So scholarships being transfer income to those who receive, and in this case the scholarships are given by the Government of India. So since the scholarships is paid by the government, it is a transfer payment for the government, and any transfer income or any transfer payments are not included whether we are calculating the domestic income or we are calculating the national income. The next one, compensation of employees paid by American Embassy to resident Indians. Now the variable or the focus area under study is American Embassy, which is located in our country, that is India, and compensation of employees, that is wages and salaries, are paid by the American Embassy to resident Indians. So just think whether this compensation of employees would be included in the domestic income of India or not. So it is very clear that such compensation of employees which are paid by American Embassy to the resident Indians will not be included in the domestic income of India. Why? Because the American Embassy in India is a part of domestic territory of America. It is not a part of domestic territory of India, and accordingly the compensation of employees which have been paid to the resident Indians by the American Embassy will not be included in the domestic income of India. The next one, remittances from non-resident Indians to their families in India. Remittances, student, this is again a very important and a commonly used term in the examination. So we need to be very thorough about this term. What do we mean by remittances? Remittances are unilateral, one-sided payments. And being unilateral in nature, being one-sided in nature, we know that these payments, whether we are making them or whether we are receiving them, would be treated as transfer income or transfer payments. So remittances being transfer in nature, they would not be included in the domestic income of India. Now the statement says remittances from non-resident Indians to their families in India. So precisely the remittances are being received by the families who are residing in India. No doubt the remittances are being received within the domestic territory of India, but since they are transfer payments which are being received, that is why they are not being included in the domestic income. If they were factor income or factor payments, then definitely we would have included them in the calculation of domestic income. So likewise students, we have covered many such statements more in our study material. So if you want to go through these statements and if you want to practice these statements more in detail, you can refer to our website www.eduzias.com, and you can refer to many other statements also which are focusing on inclusion or non-inclusion in the domestic as well as the national income of India. Thank you so much.